all know how important reading is to the development and future of the young readers in our lives, but sometimes it seems like they just don't want to get with the program. Anyone have an uncomfortable parent-teacher conference? Anxiety can lead to blaming ourselves or pushing our kids, but don't let reading time become a fight. Here are my top 10 tips for encouraging a reluctant reader. Tip number 1, take turns. With a book your kid has chosen, take turns reading a page or two to each other. Ask questions along the way to check their comprehension and keep them engaged. This works great with our illustrated series, chapter books with big text, phonics readers, and of course our very first reading library set and our dual readers are made for it. Number 2, go graphic. There are many high-quality graphic stories that draw in readers through illustrations, short-form text, and engrossing storylines. King Arthur, Robin Hood, Dracula, Alice in Wonderland, The Wizard of Oz, many, many more. And don't forget about Scurvy Dogs, a fully illustrated first graphic novel for kids who love silly stories. It's a swashbuckling adventure they won't forget. Tip number 3, get active. For kids who'd rather be physically active than sit and read a book, consider books about sports teams like The Little Football Story or written by athletes, such as Patty Hits the Courts, written by NBA star Patty Mills. Stats can also grab a true sports fanatic, so consider Fast Facts Sports or the Football and Baseball All-Stars books. And let's not forget our great resources for outdoor enthusiasts, like Bear Grylls fiction and nonfiction options, as well as activity books like Never Bored Outdoors, a nature activity book. For little ones with the wiggles, grab one of our movement-based books like 1, 2, 3, Do the Dinosaur, or our many yoga options. Tip number 4, think big print. Billy B and Hey Jack are wonderful options with large, easy-to-read typeface. You might also consider Hotel Flamingo, Polly and Buster, and the illustrated series. They're great options. Have a nonfiction lover? Go for the Extraordinary Lives series. Big print does not mean babyish. Tip number 5, let them follow their interests. You may not love Everyone Poops or The Gas They Pass, but when it comes to reading, put aside your judgment for the greater good. The nice thing is though, with Usborne, you know the content is good, and with so many different options, you're bound to find something that interests your kiddo. Space, dinosaurs, art, princesses, we've got it all. And then nurture their interests with the I Like series and help them see how their passion could become their profession. Tip number 6, find characters who reflect your kids' experience. Kids like to see themselves mirrored in the stories they're reading. Look for books with characters and situations that connect to them. Kids of color, kids with disabilities, with divorced parents, kids who love dogs, kids who are facing a bully. Whatever helps kids identify with a story will keep them engaged. Usborne and Kane Miller books handle all sorts of characters with a deft hand. Tip number 7, look for different reading opportunities. Reading is valuable no matter what the format. Pokemon cards, product labels, recipes, game manuals. Mix in shorter form material with the longer stuff. A couple of pages from one of our questions and answers books can keep them interested and engaged without requiring the investment of hours. There are so many different topics and at different levels too. Tip number 8, get techy. Usborne has an awesome app, Teach Your Monster to Read. It offers some multimedia along with a narrative and may draw in kids who would be turned off by text alone. We've also got great resources like all the amazing coding books and engineering topics to help spark your little STEM lover to love books too. Tip number 9, fact check. With their amazing stats, incredible images, short form text, and start anywhere formats, books of facts such as the 100 Things to Know About series entice kids who'd rather not tackle longer stories. Tip number 10, encourage reading for fun. Sometimes adults focus so much on trying to get kids to read that they forget about the fun. But kids who are having fun will read. Interactive titles like All Better, Muddle and Match, This is Owl, outrageous tales to make them laugh, like The Biggest Story, or The Prince, the Witch, the Thief, and the Bears, and its sequel, The Tale of the Valiant Ninja Frog. Page-turner chapter books like Cosentino or the Mapmaker Chronicles. These are the kinds of books kids love to read. Kids become readers when the motivation comes from inside them. Usborne Books and More is here to empower you to empower them for lifelong adventures in reading.